Hello students, good morning. So I'll continue with the practical problems. So you take down this problem. So copy down this problem first.
Okay, so we'll discuss the problem. So from the following balances of Mr. Pranit, prepare departmental trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 2021 after adjusting the unrealized profits, if any. If there is any unrealized profit, means if any the sale has been done between the departments, that is called interdepartmental transfer. If the load price was there, if such cases, then you have to adjust. So they have given the information regarding opening stock, purchases and sales of both the department, and they have given one general expenses, so that you can take it in the general P&L account. Okay. Though here they asked you to prepare departmental trading and profit and loss account, if there is no information regarding the profit and loss accounts, you can prepare just a trading account. Then you can go for the general P&L account. Now we see the other informations, that is closing stock of department A is 27,000, including goods received from department B 9,000 at to cost. That is 27,000 includes 9,000. Closing stock of department B rupees 30,000, including goods received from department A rupees 8,000 at cost. Opening stock of department A and B includes goods of value 3 and 2,000 received from B and A departments, again at cost. The gross profit is uniform from year to year. Now, so in the previous problems, when I was doing the earlier problems, I told you one point, that if the closing and the opening stock includes the inter-transfer departmental at the selling price, then you have to then you have to calculate the stock reserve, or any other transfer if it is at the invoice selling price. So there is one more conditions, that If there's any interdepartmental transfer at cost, and those included in the opening stock as well as the closing stock, then in that case also you have to calculate the stock reserve. I repeat, if the interdepartmental transfer still included in the closing stock as well as the opening stock, in that case also you have to calculate the stock reserve. In the sense, if there is any interdepartmental transfer and that should be entirely sold within the year to avoid the stock reserve. For example, Department A transferred 30,000 worth goods to Department B. Department B received 30,000 and entire 30,000 was used and sold in that year itself. In the sense, the what goods you have received from A, it is completely sold and no part of goods is included in the closing stock. In that case, there is no need of calculating stock reserve. But if you have received the goods from the other department, partly you sold and partly if it is included in the closing stock and the opening stock also, then though the transfer is taking place at cost, you have to calculate the stock reserve. So in this problem, though the interdepartmental transfer was taken place at cost, but it has been included in the closing stock, means some more expenses have been added to that, so you have to calculate the stock reserve. Okay, you have to calculate the stock reserve. So other thing, it is similar, you have to prepare trading account, that is departmental, and the general P&L account, because here the only one item that comes in the P&L account, that is general expenses, and the apportionment ratio is not given, so you can take it in the general P&L account. So draw the lines. That is departmental
Okay, first you have to take the opening stock. So it is 2 opening stock So next item, that is purchases. So write next item, that is sales. They have given sales. Okay, so the next item, that is closing stock. Next item, that is closing stock. So the difference is either gross profit or gross loss. So here your credit side is more, so it is gross profit. So now you do the total and find the profit of both the departments. So the total is 6,67,000, that is department A, 9,90,000, that is department B, and the difference is 1,92,000 each. So the gross profit of department A and B is 1,92,000 each. So after this, you have to calculate the rate of gross profit, and here it is given that the rate of gross profit is uniform from year to year. So first you have to calculate the rate of gross profit. So calculation of rate of gross profit, then you know what formula. So you find the gross profit rate for A and B. So calculate the rate of gross profit for A and B. So A, it is 1,92,000, that is gross profit, and the sale is 6,40,000 into 100, it comes to 30%. Department B, again the gross profit is 1,92,000, it is same as department A. The sale is 9,60,000 into 100, you will get 20%. So this is the rate of gross profit of department A and B. So next you write calculation of stock reserve. First on opening stock. So first on opening stock. Okay, so A, it is 3,000. See there, in that opening stock of department A and B includes 3,000 and 2,000 from department B and A, right? So A, it is 3,000, and you have to take the rate of gross profit of B, because for A, B transferred goods. So B will add the load price, right? So you have to take the load price of B. And for B, you have to take the load price of A. So 2000 into 30%, it comes to 600. Similarly, do it for closing stock. So find the stock reserve on closing stock. So on closing stock, that is 9,000, which is included in the closing stock of A department. Then you have to take the rate of gross profit of B department. For B, it is 8,000, which is included in the A department, but you have to take the rate of gross profit of A department. So after this, draw the lines for general profit and loss account. So write general profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 2021. So 4 columns, particulars, amount in rupees, particular rupees. Okay. So first you have to take the gross profit. Listen, if you have prepared the departmental trading and profit and loss account, then you are preparing general P&L account. Then you have to take by net profit because the departmental trade P&L account it is already prepared in the previous problem. You see the previous problem. But in this problem we prepared a departmental trading account. So it is by gross profit because we have not prepared departmental profit and loss account. So we stop till gross profit, right? So that need to be brought down, in general P&L account. Okay, next. So there is a general expenses. So write two general expenses, 75,000. Two general expenses, 75,000. So next you have to record the reserves. Now on opening stock, on closing stock. So opening stock is the debit item. So the reserve to be recorded on the credit side, the opposite side. Closing stock is the credit item. So the reserve should be recorded on the opposite side, that is debit side. So to stock reserve, that is on closing stock, Department A 1800 and Department B 2400. By stock reserve, that is on opening stock, that is Department A and B, it is 600 each. So stock reserve on opening stock should be recorded on the credit side, stock reserve on closing stock to be recorded on the debit side. So the difference is net profit. Total 3,85,200 and the difference is 3,06,000. So this is illustration that is regarding 12 marks problem. Okay, this they asked for 12 marks in 2016. So next we'll move on to the next illustration. So if you finished, then copy down the next illustration. How do you allocate the following items in departmental accounts? So take them fast. Labor welfare expenses, bad debts, repairs to machinery, carriage inward, carriage outward, discount allowed, discount received, advertising expenses, rent, lighting, freight, depreciation on plant. Okay, so you have to write the basis of allocation. So this type of problems they ask for 6 marks, okay, but they give just 6 points, not the entire 12 points. They asked you in 2017, 2018 and 2019. So last 3 years they have asked such type of problem for 6 marks. So we have to do the basis of allocations. Now, labor welfare expenses, if there is any expenses regarding the labor, then how you allocate the expenses? So first you write solution number 1, labor welfare expenses. First one, labor welfare expenses. Okay, so before we go for the answer, now you just tell me on what basis. Tell me in the sense you are not directly telling to me, but you just to give a try on what basis we can allocate the expenses that is regarding labor welfare. So the answer is on the basis of number of workers in each department. So labor means the workers. So on the basis of number of workers, we would allocate the expenses among the laborers. So right answer, number of workers in each department. Okay, next one, bad debts. Okay, listen. So before we go for the allocation, now what is bad debts? So bad debts is irrecoverable money from the debtor. If you are not in the position to recover the money from the debtor, then that is bad debt. Now who is bad? Who is debtor? You know that bad debt means that it is an irrecoverable money from the debtor. Now who is debtor? The debtor is the person to whom you did the credit sale, or me or anyone. If you do the credit sale, then he is the debtor. For example, if you have sold goods to Mr. A on credit, means the immediate cash payment is not done by Mr. A. You have sold the goods to Mr. A on credit, then Mr. A is the debtor. Mr. A had to pay the money. ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೂ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಅವನು ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ. If you are not in the position, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಅವನಿಂದ ಹಣ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. The reason may be various. For example, the death of the debtor. If something goes wrong, the debtor is no more. Insolvency, or he is abnormal. Okay, so cases may be death, insolvent, or he is mentally abnormal. In that case, or there are various cases, you are not in the position to recover the money from the debtor, then that is bad debts. So here you will use the word debtor. Debtor means the from the person to the person to whom you did the credit sale. So you can hear the word sale. So bad debts is apportioned on the basis of net sale value of assets, or it is also known as volume, a value or volume.
So net sale value or volume. So what is net sale? Net sale means sales minus return. So that is sales return, okay? Sales minus sales return. After you deduct sales return, the what figure you get, that is the net sale value. So next one, that is the repairs to machinery. So now what may be the apportionment basis for apportionment? So it is machine value or area occupied or operator's wage or salary, etc. So if you don't know the basis of apportionment, then you can go for the value of the machine. Okay, so value of the machine you can take as a base. That is, for example, if you incur the repair charge of 50,000, now you have to apportion that among the machineries. So machinery A, that is in department 1, machinery B is in department 2. You had repaired both the machinery and you incur the entire expense of 50,000. Now how to allocate? On the basis of machine value or area occupied. So you can find the area, you have to measure the areas between A as well as B machine, then you allocate among the A and B, or operator's wage. The person who is operating the machine, on his wage you can apportion. The next one, that is carriage inward. Now what is carriage inward? Carriage inward is an expenses incurred for the purchasing of goods. Carriage means the expenses you pay for the transportation, sorry, for the carrying of goods. Carriage inward is an expenses you pay for carrying the goods. Carrying the goods means you have purchased the goods to bring that. If you incur any carriage expenses or carrying expenses, then that is carriage inward. So here purchase, so the base is net purchase. The next one, that is carriage outward, means to sell the goods. So the base is net sale value. Carriage inward on the basis of purchase. Net purchase means again purchase minus return. Okay. Net purchase means purchase minus return. That is purchase return. Outward, that is net sale value. Okay, next. Discount allowed. So now you are allowing the discount, right? When you can allow the discount? When the other person is liable to pay the money to you. When you are in the position to receive the money, you can allow the discount, correct? ಈಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, then you can allow the discount. So other person is to pay the money, so in that case you can allow the discount. When other person can pay the money, when you have sold something to that person, right? When you have given something to that person is liable to pay. So giving means sale. So next one, discount received. So you are going to receive the discount benefit. So when you are going to receive, when you have to pay some money to the other person, he will allow the discount, right? So you are receiving the benefit means instead of paying some money, he will give the discount and you pay as per the mutual agreement. For example, you are liable to pay 1000 if the discount allowed is 100, and you are in the position you are liable to pay only 900. So 100 is the benefit you receive. So means you have purchased something from that person, then only you are going to pay. So it is purchase, net purchase value. So write down fast. Okay, next item, advertising. So why you give advertisement? You give advertisement to pass the information regarding your goods to the other person, means to sell the goods. So the base is net sale value. So the base is net sale value. Next item, rent. So it's very easy. Rent means how much area you are going to occupy. On that basis you have to pay the money. So it is area occupied by various departments. So next one, lighting. Okay, so now in lighting there are two bases of allocation. The first one, if metered separately, if the metered separately means separately, if you have passed the current, if you are recording it separately, meter. Okay, it's a device. You kept the meter separately for the departments, then the units of electricity consumed. For example, if you are giving a house for rent basis, okay, the rental basis. If you give separate meter for each rooms, then the number of units consumed by the particular rooms is liable to pay so much of money, right? Same way, if each department is kept a separate meter, then the number of unit electricity that is consumed by each department, on that basis you are going to allocate. If not metered separately means the number of electric points on the basis of points, wattage means the watt. If it is not possible, then the area occupied. Okay, and then you will see the area occupied. On that basis you are going to apportion. The 11th one, that is freight. So freight is a transportation cost. Now what is difference between carriage and freight? Both is regarding the transportation, right? So freight is the payment for transportation. Okay, it is a payment you do for the transportation, whereas carriage is nothing but it is carrying of goods. Okay, carrying of goods is it is different from payment for transportation. So carriage means it is carrying cost. Freight means it is an expenses you incur for the transportation. So freight is incurred when you purchase the goods. That is nothing but you pay for the transportation of goods. So the basis of allocation is net purchase value. So last one, depreciation on plant. It is similar to here repairs of machinery. It is the plant. Here it is machine value. Here it is plant value. Area occupied, operators wage. It is similar. So repairs depreciation on any asset, then the basis will be the value of the asset, area occupied, or operators wage. Okay, so with this I conclude today's class. So remaining we will see in the next class. Thank you.